Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys Board Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And it's a board game podcast. I think I say that. Let's start with what we've been playing.
Zach's got to get out of here to play Dragonflight, which I said before we started, odds on he's not even getting in tonight. So
I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning last night doing work, so I got plenty of time tonight.
Well,
Jeff.
you also took today and tomorrow
I
off.
did.
But
Yeah.
good luck. We're all counting on it.
Yes.
Fingers crossed that you get in.
Oh, I am not as pessimistic as Jeff is about it.
Okay. What if you get in like right away? What if there is no queue?
That's not going to happen.
We'll see.
I was trying to see like how much less pessimistic you were. And I think there's about the line.
I'm expecting AQ, but we'll see.
I bet if he found a server and made a new character on that one of a very low population server, he could get right in and not be able to play because he would be level 1.
Okay.
I've got a 60 boosted coin. I could just go straight in, all right?
Absolutely. On that new server.
Yep.
With no friends.
No friends.
Who needs friends?
No.
In
Well,
an MMO.
That doesn't mean as much now as
No.
it did way back when. In term, not having friends, but like being on different servers, meaning anything.
Yeah, you can just kind of play with whoever. Like you can do dungeon queues now between Horde and Alliance. Like it used to be pretty hard line between the two.
Mm-hmm. Cats and dogs living together.
Yeah,
Don't
this is
really-
like cats and dogs living together.
It is.
I saw that for the first time when
Yeah.
I started back up after I got that collector's edition. I was like, what the fuck are they doing? It's because no one wants to play Alliance and their population is so low.
Yeah.
Because they're trash people.
Yep.
Not going to even pretend to understand and not going to ask you to explain any of these things.
I don't want to talk about World of Warcraft things.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Let's talk about board games.
Yeah.
So this past week we had game night at Odell Brewing Rhino. Not Odell.
It is Odell.
Yeah, Odell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know my brain.
Yeah, I don't know.
Brain.
Brain stupid.
It definitely is. We got there kind of early because I bailed out of work a bit early. And then we played some cribbage. Zach and I started a game of cribbage. We made one hand in. I was winning, so I claimed victory. And then Paul showed up and Megan got back from buying pizza. Because Megan was there and we were going to play a 3-player game. And then it was like Megan went to go get food from the food truck.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, well, we can play while she's gone. I don't know why we ever thought that she would be gone long enough for us to play a whole game of
Not
cribbage.
a whole game, just a couple hands until,
Yeah. But, so then we switched to 4 players. So Zach and Megan versus Paul and I. It looked like it was going to be a runaway victory for Paul and I. At one point, I think we were starting to joke about skunking you. And then you started to come from behind.
Mhm.
And then in my deal,
Yep.
where I would have gotten the crib, you guys were, I don't know, 15-ish points away, somewhere in that realm. We were like 8. So you had almost twice as many points that you needed. You guys pegged very well. Then Megan scored very well. And then Paul scored very not well.
Yep. And we needed 7 points, and I got 7 points. Or
And-
5, and however much it was, I had
you got
exactly enough.
Exactly enough. If you had gotten one less point at any stage.
You'd have won.
So all of those points that we gave Megan that she didn't count, asterisks.
I'll take it. I don't care.
Um,
What about those points that you guys missed that I didn't take? There was at least 2.
Well, we weren't playing Muggins.
I know.
Well, if you had given me those points, then we would have lost by just a little bit closer.
No. It was by Paul. Paul was the one who was like, don't forget, like he was fine with Megan taking those points.
I know he was.
So it's
I was
solely
fine
an
with-
asterisk by you and you alone.
That's fair. After that, we kicked you guys off of the table.
Yep.
So that we could play Gallerist. So my buddy Casey came. He's in the D&D group, like Megan's kayak friend group. And so he came, and I brought Gallerist because I'd been wanting to play something a little bit heavier for a while. And then Brendan joined us.
Yes, because it's been so long since you've played a heavy game.
I mean, depends on what you say. What do you mean by heavy game? Brass does not necessarily count. I don't know. Maybe counts.
Okay. All right.
Brass is like medium heavy. I don't know. Anyway, well, I still wanted to play another heavy game. Brass got me back in the wanting to play heavy games. I don't know.
Okay, that's a fine statement to make.
So Casey had not played. He really likes Lacerdas, so he wanted to learn. Brendan saw it in my bag and was like, "Hey, is that your bag? can I play? I love Gallerist. I want to play it so bad. And so we did a little teach for Casey, refresher for me and Megan, and then we started playing. It was Gallerist. It was really good. I like it a lot. This one was a little bit weird in that like tickets went really fast initially and then kind of ground to a halt. So we got like right down to the very bottom of like the brown tickets, which when one of the 3 types of tickets is gone, that triggers like an intermediate scoring thing. So I thought they were going to hit really early, and then they didn't. It kind of ground to a halt. And then we used up all the meeples in the bag, which is one of the 2 endgame conditions, like really fast. And so it was kind of interesting. People hadn't bought a lot of paintings, but there definitely been a lot of things that was pulling meeples out of the bags, and kind of accelerated that aspect of the game. It seemed for a while like Brendan was going to run away with it. He definitely seemed like he had a better grasp on how to play and everything. At one point, Keith had even came by and was like, "Oh, you guys are playing with Brendan. He's like really good at this game." And then we get all the way towards the very end, and we like a couple turns from the end. I was like, "Hey, Casey, like this is your first time. Megan and I are just refreshing real quick. Let's go over again like what the scoring's going to be, so people can have a couple turns to make sure they're being effective because we're getting close to the end." So we went over those, and then we finished it out. And end game scoring, I ended up winning, which I didn't see coming at all. I wasn't in like full on Adrian whining about losing mode, which is good because I don't always like to win in that mode, even though it happens more often than I'd like to admit.
Yes, it does.
But Brendan, who looked like he was going to run away with the victory at one point, ended up getting dead last. Yeah.
Not focusing well enough on the end game scoring.
Yeah, I don't know where he fell apart. I don't know what mistake he made. Like at one point he got to do the like buy art action like 3 times in a row. Because like he did it and then he got kicked out and was able to do it, and then because he was kicked out, he was able to turn around and go like right back there. And so we thought some of those things would really pay off for him. I think a big part of where he struggled is he didn't get anything in the end game scoring area. Like there's like a column over there where you're like placing things, and it has to do with like 2 different end game scoring things over there that he completely had nothing to do with. Megan got second to last. She claimed a moral victory because she was she at one point had her entire gallery full. She was one of the only people who filled their entire gallery, and that was like her little like side goal just for her. So
her moral victory.
And then Casey got second and I got first. It was a really good game. The entire teach and everything took about 3 hours. I think playing was probably just under 2.5, between 2 and 2.5 hours, which is pretty good for Gallerist at a game night. So yeah, that was what I played. That's all I played. Didn't play any other games this week. So.
No, I guess, you weren't in our game of Werewords because we were doing it concurrently, right?
Yes, something like that. Oh, yeah, your big game of Werewords in the corner.
Yes.
Yeah, which, I guess on that note, do we want to throw over to you and Werewords?
Sure.
Or anything else?
Continue to play a lot of that game. We've run into the same... The last time we played at Paul's house, we were using Paul's phone for a little while, but then we stopped. We switched to mine because his phone just like wasn't working for whatever reason.
Correct.
Every time we hit start and the timer would start, the app just crashes.
Yeah. So then we were using my phone at this one, but then for whatever reason, the sound just cut out. Like I was able to get it working, but it was silent just long enough that we then just switched to Jeff's phone. So it's just, it'll be funny if the next time Jeff's phone stops working and then we switch to Paul's and Paul's works, and it's just like a endless circle.
It's like poetry.
Yeah,
it rhymes.
Yes. It was still, it's still a great game. We played with 9 people.
Yeah. And like 3 new people.
3 new people. And so usually when that happens, we have like Paul and I and some of the other people who are like know the game well, like will be the mayor first so that they can see it and they don't have any pressure with it. And then eventually asking them, hey, try and get everybody to be the mayor at least once. And
yes,
they took us up on that. They all seemed to have a good time with it. There was one question that it was another one that we got very quick, but it was it was a place. We asked if it was questions we got where it was, it was a place. Yes. And then is it in the United States? Yes. Is it like a city, or like, is it a country? Is it a city? It's a city, yes. And then we like, is it a capital? Yes. And then we're just like, I think we said like west of the Mississippi. Yeah. And then so someone said Denver. And then so the person was like very close. And so we're like, oh, what's close to Denver? And so we were like, is it Salt Lake City? Like trying to get all the cities around it or in the states surrounding it. And then she was just like, I've got a question. I don't like. And as soon as she worded her question and like, what if like it's a different, and I was like, you know what?
What if it's a different name for a city?
Like she didn't even get all of it. She's like, what if it's a different, and then we're just like, you know, and then I was immediately like, is it another name for the city? She's like, yes. And I'm like, is it Mile High City? Yes.
Yeah. So her, because she was the mayor.
She was the mayor.
And
Sure.
so her asking that was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So that one we got in under a minute or so.
Yeah, I was a werewolf on that one, and I was just like, okay, cool, we're totally fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and how it was worded, they were like, well, it's not like Zach was the seer or anything,
Yeah.
because it was just
Paul did pull off guessing it correctly as the seer and not get killed.
it was something, and it was that one. I was a werewolf, and I was trying to pull him away from getting the correct answer for like the entire we were playing 5 minutes because it was just louder.
A lot of people.
Sure.
People. So, and I just kept trying to pull him away from getting to the answer that when he finally guessed it, it was just like, all right, well, I didn't believe he was seer at all, because I was like, I know he is just like, had he been a villager, he was hovering right around the answer so fucking much that, because it was like photograph, and somebody asked you a question that you use it's so close, and then I don't remember what it was, and then that let me ask, is it a camera? And then you were like, with your hesitation, and you're like, no, it's not a camera.
Yeah.
And I was like, good, because I didn't want anyone near, like, I figured with that, we could stay away from it. And so I was trying to pull people away, and then I was just like, damn it, at the very end. And then it's because he was the seer. So,
Yes.
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting one on that one, because everyone was asking things that had to do with
They're focusing on the machinery itself.
and
versus
not at what created.
Yes.
And I think it was telescope or something, and I was like, it's very close. Telescopes make pictures.
Yeah.
Make photographs.
Yep.
But so do cameras.
Mm-hmm. And that's what
But
I was
it's not
like.
a camera.
It's not a camera. And that let me, and it would have worked if Paul didn't know the answer.
Yeah. But it's one of the few times I've seen the seer like straight up get it and not be insta murdered.
Well, and the other werewolf was like, it's probably Paul. And I was just like, no, I talked them out of choosing Paul. So I do feel a little bad about that.
Another one we got just out of the fucking blue was like Mothra.
No, you didn't get yes.
We did.
Ryan got it at the very fucking end in 1 second.
I don't even remember what clues we were going down. It's like a sci-fi creature. It's in movies.
So here's what it is. I was the mayor for that one. I saw Mothra and I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. Jeff's going to fucking nail it. And
we got stuck on movies or something.
Yeah, so it was like, it was a creature. And then it was a movie, and it was a creature. It was an insect. And then it was like, is it bigger than the palm of my hand? And I took you're so fucking close. And then so Jeff correctly said, oh, that must mean it's fucking huge then.
Yeah.
And then that was it. He never got anywhere closer to it.
No, I couldn't think of any giant insects.
Yeah. And so it was, people was like, is it, so it's a creature from the movies. And then they're like, is it 10 years ago? Like, was it less than 10? No.
It was like
mid
50s, mid-late 50s.
Exactly.
So.
Like more than 20 years ago. Yes, and like, but they kept like inching forward instead of like making big jumps to try and narrow it down. And so then, eventually, it was like just a couple seconds left. You guys had one guess left, and Ryan was just like, "Is it Mothra?" Just fucking nailed it.
Yeah, and he was not the seer.
He was not the seer. That was a good one though. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. No, it continues to be a great game.
Yeah.
It is by far my favorite version of Werewolf.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, no, it's really good. It's a great little word game, too.
Yes, exactly.
So, cool. What else did you play?
After Werewords, 4 of us went down to the first level, and we played. Ryan had said he brought this game that he just received his Kickstarter copy for. It was Kickstarted. I don't know if I'm assuming he backed it, but it was called Keep the Heroes Out.
Don't let the heroes in?
No. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. No, it was keep the heroes out. It is. We only played the introductory scenario, but it felt like akin to like my first Spirit Island. It's cooperative. Everybody has very specialized roles on whether it's defense or offense or like supporting. And you have a board that has a bunch of treasures out because you're like in a dungeon and everybody has their monsters that are on the board, but then heroes appear at the end of every turn and they're trying to collect the treasure. The treasures have anywhere from like a number value of like 1 to 4 on it. And if there's ever that many active heroes in that square and they don't have anything else to do, which will usually just be attack somebody, then they will open the treasure chest, and that's usually they get like we either lose a card or they get to reactivate or to become active again and take another turn. And they have a very bad compounding problem in that like if there's like 2 inactive heroes in a square and then an active hero moves into that square, those 2 inactive heroes become active again, and then all of them do a thing in that square. And so it can really be like, oh, there was 1, but then it moves into, now it's 2, now it's 3, now it's 4. Oh, shit. We had a moment near the end where it was just, oh, we've got like 2 cards left and we'll win, because you have to burn through this deck of hero cards twice, and then you win the scenario. And the last 2 cards, like they captured like 3 treasures and had 2 of their heroes in like the vault itself, which that one, if there are 4 heroes in that one and they capture that treasure, we lose. So it was like, we're doing great. We almost lost. But it's the hero or the different factions you are, like Paul were the slimes, and he had like defensive cards that when he would be attacked, he could defend. Because like most of our creatures only had like 1 health, so if they got hit, they died. He would defend, and then another slime would pop out, and so it was like in the attempt to like he was always wanting to take those hits because it would then spew out more of him. But then it was also good to be like, well, there's 4 slimes there, and they're like 2 damage. It doesn't make any sense for me to take it. Paul should take it, right? So he was a defensive creature, so he was just spouting out to basically be fodder for that, for the heroes.
Sure.
I was the Gnolls, so I was attack oriented. I had a bunch of cards that let me attack, but I had 0 defense cards, so it was always just like whenever I was in the square with Ryan or Paul, or even is like I'd always just be like, can you guys take this hit, not me? I can't do it. Like I don't want to. If I survive here, I can kill all these things, but I need somebody else to die for me. And let's see. But like, each of the monsters are like pretty unique, right? So like I said, I was the Gnolls. I had like 7 of my Gnolls that I could have at once. But Kaiser was the wizards. So for one, he could only have 2 wizards out, but the wizards had like 2 health instead of 1, so they could take more damage, and they had a lot of like ranged abilities and things like that. It was all right. I would definitely be interested to see what more challenges in that game.
Sure.
I feel like us almost losing at the end was mainly just in terms of like, we almost need to go, so everybody just do whatever. Like, we're going to win this one, so it doesn't matter what you do. Right. And then I was like, oh shit, we didn't realize how much it could be at the very end. But I would be interested to see what more challenges in that game.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks neat. I like the meeples and stuff.
Yeah, no, it looks good. Throughout the game you can like produce resources, and you can move those resources into other spaces and then spend them to get cards. So that's how you like increase the deck of your deck, because those cards are a lot more powerful than yours. There's a lot of movement there can be a lot of movement like to get you from like one side of the dungeon to the other, unless you have the wizard there, who is just like, Kaiser's goal was to just put a portal into all of the like 10 rooms that were in there, so that every room was adjacent to every other room. So it made it really easy to just bounce around wherever we needed to. So
Nice.
Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes. So the only thing I have left is something that Jeff also played, which we did on Thanksgiving,
Jeff, did you have anything else besides the Thanksgiving game?
No.
Okay.
and which was Descent.
Legends of the Dark?
Sure.
Something like that.
Legends in the Dark.
Of the Dark.
Is it
It's
of
right,
the
it's right on the
Dark?
shelf.
Well, there's literally a chair in the way,
Yes.
so I can't see it.
Well, Adrian's elbow was in the way, so
I still can't see it. I mean, I can see it, but I can't see the words. And
it's very at the bottom.
there is now a box that is blocking it. And now I just can't read it. So
Okay, cool. So we played another scenario of Descent Legends of the Dark.
Yep.
We hadn't played in a little while, but certainly more recently than the last largest gap. We only did one scenario that was probably a solid 2.5, 3 hours
Yeah.
with a lunch in there.
a chopped cheese lunch.
Yeah, and the chopped cheese was delicious. We did one scenario because we were basically down to having to use the two characters that we never use. So Zach like double-handed it with one of his characters. So
Yep.
we 4-playered it with 3 players. So basically none of us would have to use the character.
Well, it's 2 people just played their own character, and then 1 person played 2 characters.
Yes.
We didn't not collectively play that far. I just want to put
No.
that out there.
Whatever.
It was very much. I was having to control all of that. But that means Paul is going to have to do that whenever we have to do with Cyrus.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Or you just bring me back to play Cyrus.
We tried.
we tried, but you weren't.
available.
Yeah, you weren't available.
Yeah, for this one.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll be available the next time.
Maybe.
You never know.
you're right. I don't know because your work
The schedule is pinned in the Slack channel.
You say that, but then we asked you about when you're.
And you didn't even
And you didn't
know.
even know. You're like, when does your night start again? And you're like, I don't know. It could be then. It could be like. So if you were even unsure, then how can I?
knew. I don't
Who
know
knows
that
what
well.
is real?
Yeah.
But what is real is Descent, Legends of the Dark, that we played one scenario in and we lost. Only our second loss. It was pretty brutal. We were doing really well, and then like we hit these objective things, and it literally rained like 9 monsters around Paul's character.
Yeah.
And it was the end of our round, which means he had to survive like one whole round with like
Him
Almost-
being the closest.
almost no chance of them actually reaching any other target
Yeah.
because they were all next to him, which means they couldn't move to get to any other target, so
Yeah.
they would only target him.
And they were all melee too. So
yeah.
it's
Ouch.
not. Yeah, it wasn't even like, oh, I could see this other person. No, it was just they were all targeting him.
So we ended the turn, and then he took a ton of damage. He went from basically undamaged to wounded to more wounded to dead in that one
Yeah, that sounds about right. I
monster phase.
now that you had reminded me, like I do remember it, like just
Yeah.
spewing his shit.
well, so the end game thing, it's like you have to do these 2 things, and so we did the first one, and then like 4 or 5 enemies spawned.
It was 4,
It was 4,
and
and
it
then-
was directly on top of him.
yeah, and we're like, ah, shit. Well, how it's worded, it seems that will get resolved in some way if we do this other one. No, it was just like double down. It was like, here's 5 more enemies,
Yep.
also right over there.
Yep. Here's a bunch of story.
So we should have not done that, not ringing it. But ringing it was like the main objective, and then we just needed
Yeah, the
to
final objective was kill everyone.
Yeah, it was just survive. So
Yeah.
we like got what we needed to out of it at least,
and then didn't survive.
but we just didn't. Yeah, but so it's
well,
not.
really only one of you didn't survive.
That's true. I was fine. I was.
I was extra wounded, but my next feat, like Keely's whole feat things suck all the time.
Keely sucks.
Yeah, no, she's fine. She's great. But the whole fucking like be wounded and do these things, be
Yeah.
gravely wounded and
Yeah.
do all these things.
Oof.
Yeah.
Gross.
Like
Yeah.
be gravely wounded and attack 3 times or something.
It's like you're just asking me to lose by being like in
Yeah.
the middle of battle.
I mean, like,
Well,
make sure
like-
you take as much damage as possible and get as close to losing as possible because you need to complete this task to be able to get this thing.
We also did find out though. We found out, the 3 of us, nothing else, that Varix is his when you set him as like restoration build and like healing, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Varix is pretty great.
Yeah.
I like Varix a lot.
It was nice having someone that could heal,
Yeah.
which, like, I think my other character, the Avenger or whatever, I think she has a bunch of healy stuff, But a lot of hers has to do with like be wounded, and then you can use your lightning bolts as heals and stuff, and being adjacent to people and be attacking and stuff like that.
Yep.
I'll have to get that like wounded armor next time.
Yep.
I don't remember what that gives you when you're wounded. It's like plus speed and plus something else
Yeah, I don't remember either offhand.
when you are wounded.
Ugh, I want more descent stuff. I've said it before.
And you'll say
I'll
it
keep
again.
saying
Yeah. I'm assuming we're getting close to the third. Like, I don't know how many more. We probably have like a couple more missions. I don't know how many missions we've done so far, but
Yeah, I don't either.
Feel like you're probably 2/3.
that's what I was That's what I was leaning towards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably like one more round of, once we finish Cyrus's thing, like another round of like side quest things, and then.
Main
But we'll
quest.
see. Yeah, but still good. Still enjoying it.
Got my upgraded mana weave.
You
which
did.
was critical. +1 damage, Aquos damage type,
Nice.
and an extra 5% chance on my weapon attacks.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting like fully upgraded gear is huge.
Paul has although we did find something that we decided to switch out on him. He had the 5% double damage proc that procced way more than it should have.
Oh yeah,
for
some
five-
of those
Yeah.
proc all the time.
But we switched to something else that was like a 30% chance of something that was pretty nice. So he actually made an upgrade on his thing. So
Cool.
yeah, that's going well.
Yeah, I always liked focusing on the ones that give additional damage types and things
Mhm.
because like then
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
just randomly hit some like enemy's obscure
Elemental weakness.
Yep.
and deal a shit ton of damage.
That's why I like my claws for chances that has the shadow type on there as well. So those are nice.
Right on. That it for everybody's
Board
Games.
games, yes.
board gaming.
Yeah,
Right on.
that's it.
Board games, yes. Other games now.
So I guess in banter,
God of War Ragnarok. I've played almost 30 hours of that so far since I
Okay.
got it. It's very good.
Did you get it as a disc version?
Yes.
So I can borrow.
Because
it
I'm
when
not a
you're done?
monster.
I can borrow it when you're
Adrian.
done. What?
Last of Us.
Part 1.
Oh,
Bullshit.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's more it's not like God of War 3 to God of War in turn like that big of a change. It's just more of God of War 2018. But it's good. It's the scopes increased a lot. They're going deep into a lot of lore, and you're meeting a lot of side characters that are a lot of fun. And I really like a lot of the actor choices that then influence the character choices of the new people for this game.
Sure.
They do a lot of good stuff.
Okay.
Been playing a lot of Grounded.
Yes.
Yeah, Megan's been playing a lot of Grounded as well.
Yeah, we've got a server with Paul, Zach, Thursby, and I. We're in the upper yard nowadays.
Yep.
Trying to trudge through what's the name of the upgraded ladybugs? The
Ladybirds?
ladybirds. Ladybird larva, ladybird
Oh yeah, ladybird
ladybugs,
larvas. I saw Megan fighting some of those. I saw her
fire
fight
ants.
a infected wolf spider too.
Mm,
That's even yeah, I guess there is one up there.
yep.
Yeah, I think we're at the end though, so we're just
Yes.
gonna kind of do the endy stuff, and we'll figure out what to do about that final challenge, which is building defenses,
Okay.
and I'll have to do that basically on my own. So
The building of it, not the actual defending.
no, but the building of it's gonna take a long time.
I mean, you could do it
Do
once and then see
Yeah.
how, it'll be great it would be hilarious if it's just like 2 spiders show up and that's it. And that's all it is. And
no, it's a lot. I did look at it. And I
Oh.
was like, this was going to be worth the effort, and I was like, yeah, this looks
Okay.
like it's going to suck. It's like multiple waves of like the orc, like controlled, and
gotcha.
it's like everything.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
it sounds like we'll need all 4 of us there.
Yeah, it's just kind of wave after wave after wave.
Okay.
Need a lot of pebbles for the
Are
turrets.
there more turrets after that?
I
You
don't
know
think-
of?
not that I've saw.
Okay. All right.
I just will. I went into the weird moat castle area.
Yes.
And there was a boss in there as well, but I defeated it in the first run, so I didn't know it was a boss. I just pressed a button and it was like, oh, it's fighty time now, and I killed it. So now
Okay.
you won't be able to fight that boss.
Great. Perfect. Well, that's the problem with having 4 people that will sometimes just play when
Yeah.
you're not all together. Is there are many times you're like, oh, we advanced like many times I've logged on and it's like, oh, we have a new base. That's
I just kind of build that in the off time, though.
Yeah.
So
but I mean like every other time it's oh, and then we've also upgraded various things.
yeah,
Through that,
Yeah,
so.
and some of those like secondary like chips and stuff that gives
Uh-huh.
us more tech were like
Yeah.
super easy. Like the oak one was basically just a jumping puzzle. There was no combat or anything.
Damn it.
Oh,
Dude, the jumpy puzzles.
I love jumping puzzles.
no, this
Yeah.
one sucks.
I saw
And-
somebody on Twitter complaining about him in this game too, and I agree. Like, there's a lot about like that kind of stuff that I don't like in Grounded. Like, if it was just a cool Honey I Shrunk the Kids survival crafting game, I think I'd like it a lot more. But like, I don't know, the combat frustrates me too.
Oh,
Is it-
I've
But
had
at least the
no
combat feels like it belongs. The jumpy puzzles do not.
No.
I'm not trying to play a platformer. I avoid that entire genre with a fucking
A
passion.
Guild Wars 2 I played for
yeah.
entirely too long solely to be like, all right, I got to level up to get to the next jumping puzzle.
Yeah, the jumping puzzles in there were interesting.
Yes, they were.
though. Until you, what was it? An artificer, the one with the portals.
I did not play that one.
Evoker.
I don't know. I wasn't even playing at the first expansion of it. It was just
This is
the
an original class.
Oh, well.
There's a class that you
I
can
was a mushroom dude. That's all I remember.
plant dude.
I mean, I had a mushroom head.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
which is, I think, just, yeah.
They are plant people though.
They are. I just was like, one of the things you do was a mushroom head.
Yeah, I didn't play until after that first expansion came.
Gotcha.
And then that's all I played.
Yeah.
I did not play the second expansion. Now there's a third expansion.
Yeah.
Guild Wars 2. It was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Good MMO. Speaking of MMOs, a new MMO just came out an hour and a half ago.
Yes.
Not new.
Expansion for a very old MMO.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm sure no one's playing yet because they can't get in.
I mean, somebody had to have gotten in, right? First person?
Maybe. It depends if all the servers are down.
I mean, I guess they could have all crashed.
Yeah.
I feel like last time it wasn't even like for
Shadowlands?
Shadowlands. I don't remember if they like kicked you out and then, or if it was just like they hit a button and then all of a sudden you got a quest on to be like, hey, here you go.
They usually do maintenance before these things,
But the maintenance is the only maintenance is on Tuesday now. It wasn't this one. So yeah,
yeah, I don't remember if they had to like shut all the servers down and turn them all back on again.
who's
Yeah.
to say?
Get your arm chopped off by a fucking velociraptor. Arnold? Mr. Arnold? Was that his name?
Sam Jackson.
Sam
yeah.
Jackson's character in that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, something Arnold.
Yeah.
Good movie, good character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've not been playing God of War,
The first
old
one.
I haven't been playing anything. I've been in a video game funk. Like the other night, Megan was like crushing Grounded, and I jumped on the computer, and I think I started and stopped 8 different games within an hour, and was just like, nope, don't feel like playing this. Let me try something else. Nope, don't feel like playing this. Let me try something else. Just nothing's hitting for me right now.
Finished Andor. Super good.
Andor was
Andor's good.
amazing.
Yep.
Then I rewatched like
Parts,
a New Hope from like where they left Tatooine to the end of that movie, and then I just watched from when the battle part started in Rogue One to the end of that movie, and I had just finished Andor, and I was like, I just want to watch all the cool parts, and yeah, there's some things in Rogue One that I didn't realize that there are characters in Andor that are in Rogue One
Yeah.
that are like very minor characters that they are bringing into Andor.
Yeah, his prison escape, one of his prison escape buddies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is on the beach.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Melshi?
Something like that, yeah.
Well, now people know that there's a prison escape.
I mean, that was like 4 episodes ago.
Well, what if they haven't watched one episode? Spoiler alert.
Well, then fuck them, because they're missing out on the best Star Wars that has been in
Literally
years.
ever. Yeah. I did.
Arguably ever. Andor is so good.
I was watching some theory videos, and they seemed like there's some cool theories about who characters could be.
Okay.
Yeah. There's only going to be one more season. So.
Yeah.
Yep. 12 episodes.
Yep. Have they started filming on it?
I think
Like
so.
last week.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
okay.
started,
Okay.
but
And
it's
then
supposed to
it-
not be till 2024 or something
Yeah.
like that.
I think they will film it in at least until it's like through
End
the
of
summer.
next summer. Yeah.
So.
And that'll
God
probably
damn
be a year from that.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but god damn it.
Yeah, I assume they didn't want to start filming a second season without knowing how
Yes.
the first one was. And once it was doing so well, they're like, all right, spin it up.
Yeah. Although that's like one of those things where like when you have it planned for just 2 seasons, 24 total episodes, like just pull the trigger and just go for it. It's like the same thing they did with Dune, where they only approved the first movie. It's like, dude, just make both movies.
No,
No.
they don't really do that with that director.
I know they don't, but they should.
Yeah.
They should have. Because now it's going to be forever until
Correct.
Dune 2.
Yes.
Yep.
They've given fucking James Cameron all of the avatars.
Well, that's because he made them all of the money.
This is
So
also true.
Yeah.
I believe at one point he was a conversation with them about something, and then they're like, whatever. And he's just like, Avatar built this building like that we're in right now. So you give me whatever I want.
We'll see if it makes as much money the second time around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it will.
I don't think it will either.
I started work on my platform thing, so I spent most of my weekend over at Paul's workshop working on making stuff for my truck.
Oh, yeah.
Neat.
It's good times.
Yeah.
Trying not to be in Paul's way as much as possible, while also being in Paul's way all the time.
How's my rope holding up?
For the garage door?
Yeah.
Good.
Good. Great.
Yeah, it's a good rope. Solid
Yeah,
rope.
Solid rope.
Attached well.
Yeah. It's mostly taped on, but
Felt more sturdy than tape.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot. It's been kind of boring other than that in my life.
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of just didn't do much over the weekend, and it was great.
Yeah. I we gotta play D&D next Saturday. I'm really excited for that.
Very exciting.
And news and politics.
News
that's
and
a,
politics.
That's a,
Slack
that's a
channel.
terrible channel on our Slack.
Yep.
News and Kickstarters.
There you go.
Moving on to news. First up on news, the New Yorker has published this Goblin article, Goblin on Isaac Childress' dick. It is a very interesting article where they talk about how Gloomhaven is the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah.
And I know some people have started receiving their Frosthaven.
Yes.
So it is very timely.
Yeah, it is ridiculously big. Yeah, it's an interesting article. I kind of skimmed through it. It's just a little bit about like
Him
Childress
as a person.
and yeah.
Apparently, Frosthaven's going to take 300 hours to
Jesus.
complete.
That doesn't necessarily surprise me.
Yeah. They also go in depth onto like BGG rankings and where like stuff sits.
Yeah, which will all be outdated almost immediately because it changes a lot more often.
Yeah, they talk about how there's only ever been 6 different number 1 games, but Gloomhaven will probably sit there forever, I guess.
Icon Monopoly's in the middle, 23,000s.
Yeah.
Chess is almost out of the top 500.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a cool article. It's New Yorker. So there you go.
There's some cool art.
Yeah.
They did. I don't know if it has anything to do with they actually made this for Gloomhaven, or this was just kind of weird fantasy art they had sitting around.
Yeah, I have no idea on
It's
that.
the New Yorker, so.
Who can say?
Also, Isaac Childress hates capitalism. So.
Yeah, that's like one of the first things he says in the interview portion.
Yeah.
I hate capitalism.
But he's made a bunch of money. But maybe he's made less money than he could have by being
Yeah.
a capitalist dick.
Yeah, that's kind of what he talked about. Like even he said with Jaws of the Lion that like he made significantly less money off that than Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 10 minutes, Cephalofair received $500,000 worth of pledges, up to $13 million.
That's crazy.
That is absolutely insane.
Indeed. Yeah. Moving.
I look forward to playing the digital version of Frosthaven someday.
Indeed.
I don't think I want to break out like a physical copy of Gloomhaven ever again.
No, probably not.
Just seems like digital is significantly easier.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'll even play Gloomhaven again.
I mean, I only got a handful of missions into the campaign that will
Same.
probably never ever get played again.
No, definitely not.
So I'm glad I have that copy that I'm never going to use again.
Oh, there you go.
You had a chance to offload it. It could have ended up in the big pile.
Yeah, but it's still my like campaign. Like I don't have a campaign reset kit for it or anything.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Megan and I played it on the digital and it was fine. She likes it, wants to play more, but I was not always the biggest fan of it. So, just funny because I know a lot of like heavy gamers they were like, "Oh, this is like RPG for heavy gamers.
Yeah.
Doesn't do it for me.
Mm.
I don't know. Anyway,
I think at least part of that is just, at least in terms of you, is that you like RPGs already.
yes,
So it's like, maybe for people who wouldn't normally like it.
that could be.
So
People that want a little more structure in their RPGs, they don't want to have to
Sure.
think about things.
Yeah, they don't want to have to, do the social side of it.
yeah.
It's great for Paul. There's no big long cutscenes where he has to like read in character or anything.
Or you can, but what's great is that you could have Jeff read a bunch of stuff, and then you watch Paul like physically recoil in horror
Yeah.
at Jeff's dwarf accent, or not even
Oh,
not
no,
even.
I'm just
accent.
reading the words as they're spelt, sir.
Yep.
They do give her an accent in
Yeah. Descent.
Descent. Yeah. Anyway, next up on news.
Something I didn't think would ever come, an expansion for Jump Drive.
Yeah. Terminal Velocity includes a solo mode that apparently was designed by someone on BGG, and
Like a
they're
fan-made
and they're
expansion?
listed as a co-designer on the
Yeah.
expansion. They're also adding 5-player support, goals that you can complain that you can claim
Yes, and also complain.
and complain, and starting worlds similar to Race and Roll for the Galaxy, and more cards.
I always find that funny when it's just like, oh, here's the simpler version, and then expansions are inevitably, well, now we're going to make it more like that other game.
Yeah.
Happened with that. Happened with Terraforming Mars, the card game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see what the solo mode is, because it seems like that's where Jump Drive got a lot of its longevity, I guess, through like people getting that solo mode and just playing solo Jump Drive.
I guess.
Because can you play solo race? Is there there is a solitaire in one of the expansions, right?
Maybe. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
But I've never heard that.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I played Race either. That used to be a game I played all the time, and
Paul would
not as
destroy
much.
you on the digital version pretty regularly. I recall.
yeah, a decent amount.
Yeah.
I think Paul did a better job on the digital version of paying attention to what I was doing.
Yeah.
So that he could better,
Versus you paying attention to what he was doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I just kind of
Do-
play.
You just did you did your own stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I'm with you, Jeff. I never thought I'd ever see anything Jump Drive ever again. It seemed to have died. But no, it's
Yeah.
back.
I mean, the rulebook's out, right? So it's
Yeah.
it's
It adds the goals and the solo rules and stuff are up here too. So.
gotcha.
Yeah, and apparently Tom Lehman was saying on BGG in a thread somewhere that it's been printed and is shipping. So like it already exists.
Okay. All right.
Apparently there's a campaign challenge. Do all 5 solo campaigns in order without ever failing.
Oh, geez.
So I guess there's a solo campaign. Well, there's 5 different solo campaigns. So
Gotcha.
and they increase in difficulty.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Next up on news.
Last up on news. So Atomic Mass Games kind of took over for the miniature world of Fantasy Flight's Star Wars games. So like X-Wing, Armada, Legion. And then they said that there was no new content being developed for Armada, but they do have a new game coming out called Star Wars Shatterpoint, which is a larger scale miniature game. So like the minis are bigger.
Because
so they're-
it's squad based, right? Versus
Yeah, so you're going to have like 5 or 6 minis versus someone else's instead of like units in your like armies and stuff. But these are bigger, more detailed miniatures that you will still have to assemble and paint.
Yes.
Based
It
on
is, it
their-
is a mini game.
Yes,
So.
based on their customized. Where like X-Wing and Armada, those were always pre-painted.
Yeah.
This will not be that.
Well, and for whatever reason in my mind, Armada and X-Wing don't count as mini games, whereas I don't know.
More like what's that? Hero Clicks, I guess.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's like, is
Sure.
that a minis game? You know.
Yeah.
But it's not collectible, so that means it's way better.
There you go.
But there's going to be more details on this soon. There's only a trailer. It's coming out in June of next year.
I mean,
Yeah.
and it looks like it's just like the trailer we saw. It seemed like they just had all of the known, or a majority of the known Star Wars, like throughout.
Yeah, it looks like it's more Clone Wars, but like the cartoon Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So it has like Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano, Lord Maul,
Yeah.
because Maul was like leader of the Mandalorians for a little while.
Oh, I didn't know that.
still have his spider body, or did they get rid of that?
He got rid of his spider
Okay.
body. He just had the mechanical legs.
Gotcha.
Um,
Lame.
but I do have to say that Ahsoka Maul fight scene in the cartoon
oh yeah, it's very good.
was very good.
Yep.
Because it was actually mocapped.
Yep. Correct.
Instead of animated.
Oh,
So it was actually like, and they got Ray Park
yes,
back
they
to
did.
do
Yep.
the Maul fight scene parts and stuff. So it was very well animated and was super cool.
okay.
Yeah.
I've never really been able to get into the.
It's just a cool fight scene.
I keep hearing good things. I hear a lot of good things about it, but I just never.
Well, and I feel like that first season is like a lot of those things.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's very like they have to set the shallow scene before you can actually go deep in some of those things and get like nuance, because it is a like kids
Sure.
cartoon, right?
Sure.
That you can go farther into and it actually gets good. Like a lot of ones have Avatar or Steven Universe and all those, like the first season or so is very
Kid friendly.
kid friendly. Yeah.
And then they start blowing people up. He's dead. There's no way that guy survived. This is dark. Anyways, Shatterpoint. So this is the first like ground up made atomic mass Star Wars Fantasy Flight thing. It looks like there's going to be a core set. Might come with like 4 characters, like an Ahsoka, a Maul, a maybe Anakin. I don't know if that's Anakin or not. It's hard to tell. It probably is. Vectress, and then maybe a Bo-Katan and whatever her nemesis was in the Mandalorian War. I don't remember his name. It was stupid.
Sure.
Yeah, but it seems like there's going to be like Commando or like clone trooper like models and stuff. So you're going to have like your big heroes and then some like fodder people that you can play with too. Those will just fill out your points on your
Oh, yeah,
on your
definitely.
match or whatever. So, but it looked like they had like Rex and a bunch of the main clone characters. So
Okay.
it looks neat. We'll
There
see.
you go. Moving on to crowdfunding.
First up, we have Fit to Print. 154,000 of its $8,000 goal, about 5,400 backers, about a week left to pledge, which you can for only $29.
So this is a fairly fast-paced game about arranging a woodland-themed newspaper.
It's woodland creatures printing a newspaper
Yes.
with all of the news of their woodland lands.
Yes.
But the way you set that out looks really cool.
Yeah, so it's 1 to 6 players, plays 15 to 30 minutes. Basically, you set out all of these pieces that are like the various elements of a newspaper. So like ads,
Pictures.
images, articles, all of that. They're all different shapes and sizes. And then you start going through. Each person has a little desk. You draw from the big center pile. You flip it over your desk. Decide if you want to keep it or discard it. If you keep it, you put it on your desk. Otherwise, you put it back in the middle.
Kind of like Galaxy
I was about
Trucker.
to say that.
I know, like
Is
Galaxy
it real
Trucker.
time?
It is real time.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Cool.
Eventually, when you think you have enough things on your desk to fill out a newspaper, you yell, where'd it go? Down here. Sorry, scroll. You say layout, and everybody stops what they're doing and moves to the layout phase. So in the layout phase, you're trying to arrange your chosen tiles on your newspaper's like front page board. Tiles of the same type cannot touch, so you have to have enough that you can kind of move them around.
Can't have ads next to ads.
Yep, can't have ads next to ads, can't have pictures next to pictures. You have to balance your mood. So some articles have happy mood, some have down mood. If they are not exactly equal, you get negative whatever the difference is, whether it's more positive than negative or more negative than positive.
Can't do fluff pieces, but also can't just be okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, can't be all doom and gloom. And then the player with the smallest empty space gets bonus points, while the person with the largest empty space loses points. And then once everybody's done laying it out, you say print, you take the lowest finishing token, and then once everybody has finished printing, then you do all your final scoring.
But once you say layout, then everybody, like if I, for whatever reason, only grabbed like 2 and you had grabbed like 5, and you're like layout, then I'm sort of fucked there.
That's what I think. It doesn't explicitly say everyone does.
Do you have to put everything that's on your desk in the newspaper?
It seems like you are personally laying out, and that lets other people know that you have started layout, because it's more about a race to print than it is a race to get to layout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you get points for getting the first person to print.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's better then.
Yes. And then you do that 3 times over escalating objectives.
There you
Does your newspaper get bigger each time, or
It
like
doesn't
Galaxy Structure, or is it just
doesn't seem that way.
But the objectives change to be more, I don't know, dramatic, I guess.
Gotcha. Scroll up a little bit, Adrian. Keep
Puzzle
going.
mode, solo mode.
Keep going. It was one of the images of a filled out sheet. Okay, so that one is just cut out. Like that's not the entire thing.
Yeah.
That's just-
The sheet is bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, if I
Alright.
scroll back up here to the gameplay stuff, you can they have those kind of cut off too, but 6
Okay.
front page boards.
All right. I just want to make sure it wasn't in different sizes. Like
It does not look like
Okay.
Now it looks like they're all roughly the square size here. Or that's kind of I don't know. The pictures aren't necessarily consistent. Here we go.
Yeah.
So this big rectangle.
Yeah. Okay.
There's also a turn-based mode, a puzzle mode,
A solo
a
mode.
solo. It's available on Tabletopia currently.
Gotcha.
There's a rule book. Yeah, it all seems like all of the good things that you would want to do in one of these games.
Yeah.
It looks like there are advanced player powers, so you can have different powers depending on different boards you have, and then breaking news stuff as well. So there is a little more variability in there.
Okay. You said it was,
Indeed.
wait. Jeff, scroll up again real quick. I saw 2 boards. Keep going up. That. Is that different sides or?
So there's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Boom. Okay.
Yeah.
So they are.
So it's smaller, and then it kind of grows by one board, and then the Sunday paper is super big for the
Okay.
3rd round.
Okay. So it does increase in size.
Yep.
Like Galaxy Trucker.
Okay.
Cool. Good.
Newsroom mode sounds really interesting. So it's for 4 to 12 players. It's team based. A reporter and an editor. You play in very slightly different locations. So the reporter has to go and get articles, put them on the desk, carry it over to the editor, who then places them, and you can shout at each other from across the room what kinds of things you're wanting.
Yeah.
You know, Parker, I need more photos of Spider-Man.
Gotcha. Okay.
Need more good news. Need more bad news. That sounds
Interesting.
awesome and chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it 4 to 12?
Yeah. So the game plays 1 to 6.
6. That's what it is.
This
Got
is
it.
team based.
Illustrated by Ian O'Toole.
Yes. Our dog is hungry, probably.
And you said it was 29? That's not bad. $29 are the pledges just more of it, or is there do they add anything?
There is just more copies.
Okay.
Yeah. $56 for 2
There-
copies.
There was a Founders Edition for $250 that 20 people got.
Pass. This one seems pretty interesting.
Yeah. So you save $2 if you get the $56 edition. I don't know how much money you save at the $165
Does it
edition.
have? Are you seeing anything that says a Kickstarter exclusive or anything like that?
There is a promo pack,
Gotcha.
and this is a Kickstarter edition.
Yeah, and you get the $29 gets you the Kickstarter edition, the Kickstarter promo pack, all stretch goals, and the print and play, and a thank you on the website.
Okay.
If you back this, let me know because I'd probably be down to do a dual pledge.
Okay.
So stretch goals, bigger box, larger score pad, linen finish box, thicker cards, spot UV, more cards, linen finish cards, scenarios and achievements, thicker front page boards.
Yeah, lots and lots and lots
What's
of
the shipping on
reviews.
it? Do they
You're looking at
13?
$13 to $60.
How much is it for the 2 copies?
$18.
Okay, so you're also saving-
$9 per copy.
Saving $4 that way too.
Well, there you go.
Adrian.
So you want me to back
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
Might ask Graham. Maybe we can get all 6.
Yeah.
That's too much effort. I've done that before. I always hate doing that.
Yeah. And then
I'm currently doing that for a fucking 18XX game.
Yeah.
I don't need to know 6 different people that own this game.
Yes. I think 2 is enough.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jeff there could be 3 copies in this room. And then we're already halfway to the 6 copy
Yeah.
pledge.
There could be 2 copies in our basement, Jeff.
I have limited. I culled a lot of my collection based on games that like I know people that have it, and it's like, when is my fucking copy ever gonna come out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I stopped.
Because all of the people we know that have Cosmogenesis, that game I got you that you just immediately didn't.
See, I thought that was a different game.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
Next up.
last up.
Hang on, I'm just looking at the BGG page for Cosmogenesis. Last up on Kickstarter, we have Tiny Epic Crimes. Very well funded, 249,000 of its $15,000 goal, over 2,600 backers. About a week left to pledge this one, which you can get the deluxe edition because it's a Tiny Epic game for $40.
Indeed. So this is another Tiny Epic game, which it feels like it's been a very long time since there's been a Tiny Epic game.
There has been them. We
There
just
has
have
been-
not
yeah,
talked about them.
There's
Oh, that
like
could
Tiny
be.
Epic, like Pirates and
That's right.
other ones that I can't think of. The last one I remember looking at was Tiny Epic Quest, which I remember I enjoyed. And then after playing it a couple times, I was like, and I'm good.
Yeah.
There was like a
That's
That was
how
the
I
one
felt
that had
about
the-
Battle Royale-esque one that they did.
That's how I felt about basically every Tiny Epic game. I played a couple times and I'm like, yep, I'm
I
good.
liked Galaxies, and then
It's the best
yeah.
of them, I would say.
although
anyway.
and the expansion was interesting, but it also added a lot of time. That was like, I think that was part of it, was that like I felt like I wanted a shorter experience from them because they were smaller.
Yeah.
Like so,
Vikings, pirates, dungeons, dinosaurs,
oh yeah, that was when
Yeah.
like Dinosaur Island and all those.
mechs, and I think mechs was one of mechs tactics.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Anyway, this one.
Defenders, second edition.
We're not. Anyway, Tiny Epic Crimes. Because
So what is this one about? What is it making tiny?
so this one is being a like 1950s, 40s, 50s era detective Tiny. So it's either cooperative or competitive. You can either all work together to try and solve the crime, or you can all compete to be the detective who cracks the case first.
Okay.
And it uses similar to what was that game? There's another game that uses this, but it's like the little cards that you throw them in like the red sleeve, and it shows you like
Clue.
not Clue. Does Clue do that?
No.
Well, you just have the envelope that has all the murder weapons. And
Yeah,
stuff.
no. There's Decrypto, something like that. There's like another game where you're like trying to solve something, and you put it. It's like a weird jumbled image. Or even like one of the things uses it for like if people are infected or not.
Yeah.
You scan them and you put it in a little thing and it'll tell you infected or not. So similar to that. So there's a like a crime card that's this weird red and blue colored thing, and then you slide it into slots for like you can do like a little bit of like go investigate like the gang, and like it'll reveal if like the gang had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Or like you can go like investigate like do some forensics or like look at the weapon. Like, and there's little things like that like based on what you put it in, you get more information about the crime and who did it and
Mhm.
how and all of that. Of course, apparently while you're doing this investigation, players have to do regular cop shit of, doing crime, or like investigating crime and doing regular cop things. So there are events that as
Gotcha.
you
So some cop things, but not all cop.
yeah,
things.
and as
Okay.
as you resolve them, it gives you alibis and force cards, which I assume means like the police force, not
Mhm.
like Jedi didn't just appear in this game.
I mean, it's to say epic. I mean, it'd be pretty epic if in the 40s if Jedi just appeared.
Helped you come solve a murder. But yeah, you have like 48 hours, and so like to solve it. And so some of that is like you have to dedicate a certain amount of time, I think, to like doing your regular police work. In addition to investigating, I don't know. It's not entirely clear. But then in the final hour, you stake your career on a
Final
guess.
hour?
Yeah, in their final hour.
Oh,
So you play over 48 hours.
I
So
was
in
like,
the final hour,
I was like, how
of the
long
game,
is this fucking game? Jeez.
Yeah, it's a real time 48-hour game. No naps. You're solving a murder.
It is true.
It's actually
The chance of them finding somebody goes down after 48
it's
hours.
actually a key part of the competitive version is you play 48 hours real time. If you want to sleep, you've got to chunk off. Like, that's time you're not
Gotcha.
investigating.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's vaguely like 1940s, 50s era.
I mean, it's a
themed
new thing,
cop
like,
stuff.
that's cool.
Yeah. 6 secret envelopes that reveal things, 16 different
So,
suspect cards.
What
so
is Kingpins? I see that, like, you
It's
can
an expansion.
right. Does it now? You're from the bad guys side.
No,
or
so now you're trying to take down like a crime
take down and keep
kingpin,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
And so there's like
So
a whole
instead of generic bad guys, you're getting like trying to get specific ones.
yeah.
Okay.
You have to take them down, which and you have to do this while you're still solving the murder, so it's like an additional difficulty. And they have this like scheme thing where you put the scheme card into an envelope and it reveals which location is affected by it and like how it does.
Okay.
And then there's something here about the kingpin puts the squeeze on the players and you have to chase them to the hideout and arrest them. I don't know.
And there's like specific event cards that will have to deal with those specific kingpins,
Yeah.
like Jake the Jester,
Yeah, they're all very alliterative.
Caleb the Colonel, Richmond the Rake.
Patsy the Plunderer.
Yes.
Plunderer.
Plunderer.
Yeah.
$20 gets you premium print and play, or you can
Okay.
just spend the extra $5 to get the base game.
But it's not premium. It's just
This is true.
You also get it
$30
in-
for the deluxe game.
You also get it in January versus September of next
January,
year.
like in 2 months. January.
Yes, the
Correct.
print and play.
Oh, that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, they're sending us the game in 2 months. That's pretty impressive.
No.
You can print your own in 2 months.
Yes.
For $255, you get the honorary producer, So if you want a cool...
If you're gonna spend money,
Sorry,
Certificate.
you can't actually do that because everyone has already pledged that one.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
people love having honorary titles.
You get an advanced copy at least.
How advanced?
July. 2 months.
Look, you could get it and then already be bored with the game after
Yeah.
playing it 20 times.
By the time everybody else gets there.
Exactly.
So yeah, it'll be great.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's Tiny Epic Crimes. Go check that out if you are somebody who loves all the Tiny Epic things and wants to keep doing Tiny Epic things.
They keep making money, so they'll keep making it.
Yep. Although I feel like some of them cracked 1 million, and this one's not even cracking 250,000.
Yeah, it's still a lot more than a lot of other Kickstarters right now, too.
I think theme plays a big part in that too.
That could
So,
be.
But if they were Elden Ring themed, I mean,
Tiny Epic Elden Ring.
what's that at million? How many millions of dollars is it?
I don't know.
Are you just putting your credit card information on the stream?
Yeah, just the last 4.
Oh, okay, cool.
Hey, you backed Fit the Print.
I did.
That's it for Kickstarters.
That is it for Kickstarters. Moving on to listener feedback.
Which there is none.
There is some.
What?
There's a YouTube comment.
Oh my god!
I know. Almost unbelievable. So this one comes on episode, I think 282 even. 281.
This is 282.
Yeah, this is 282. 281.
We're not that meta. People don't have
True.
YouTube comments on something that doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. So yeah, episode 281, Mr. Exaggerator. This comes from Michael Jones.
Michael Jones.
At 1314, I like how he timestamped. There are 4 squares
Yes.
in every Tetris piece because it's Tetris. Tetrahedrons.
Yes.
Come
I remember
on
trying
now.
to explain this to you, and you were like, "What?"
That's not what I was whatting about. Because, yeah, anyway. Come on now, y'all. Also, I imagine Kaiser already commented on this, so feel free to ignore it if I'm just being another jackal. But if I'm the first jackal, do mine and forget his.
You were the first.
You were
jackal.
indeed the first jackal. I also, his use of the phrase jackal makes me think he watches Seth Meyers' corrections for his talk show, because he talks all about jackals. That's what
I
he
see.
calls his fans in the comments. They're jackals.
Okay.
Anyway.
Is it Jackal?
What?
Jackal?
Jackal?
Jackal. Is it a jackal?
I don't know.
Jackal? It's an old Family Guy bit where they were
Oh.
doing Pictionary. And he just keeps guessing jackal
yeah, no,
over
I
and
do
over.
remember that.
He was
Yeah.
like, wasn't that? You've said it 1,000 times. It wasn't jackal.
It's kind of like our Werewoods game of is it a comic
Yeah.
or is it
It's
animated?
Is it animated?
Is it a cartoon?
Is it a cartoon?
Is it a Western animation?
Western style animation.
So anyway, back to this though. The problem was you were saying Tetris piece, the T-shaped Tetris piece, and
Yeah.
in my brain I heard T-shaped polyomino. which isn't necessarily limited to the 4. And I don't think
No.
of that shape in Tetris that you were calling the T shape.
Yes.
I don't think of that as a T because it doesn't have a long enough stem to be a T.
I think it's always just been referred to as the T.
It probably has.
Yeah.
But I don't hang out in Tetris message boards to see what the colloquial
You don't know what you've been
term-
missing, man.
Gets fucking wild, man.
Friday night, open up a beer, and then just
Fucking rip into.
Fucking
Yeah.
Tetris. So, that's it for listener feedback. If you'd like to give us
Speaking of Mike Jones, we
Oh,
might
oh.
be at least one of us might be on the Wizard's Chest stream.
I mean, if they're
this
willing to let us have the 1
Saturday.
o'clock slot, I'll do the 1 a.m. slot.
Yeah, the 1 a.m. slot.
They're doing 24 hours, man.
They are doing 24 hours, but I think they want to put us in like prime time.
Sunday morning, 8 a.m. The church crowd.
He's got a 6 p.m. Saturday
I am.
ish. So we'll see who or what this dog is barking at,
Indeed, we
or who beyond me.
Who beyond you?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. On that note, since everything just died,
Yeah.
I think it's back now.
Okay.
the stream
I'm
Mine's playing.
his started playing again.
really?
Yeah.
XSplit is not open,
Oh.
so I don't know what it is streaming.
Okay. Maybe it's just replaying the death of our stream.
It could be.
Yeah. Oh, yep. It's dead again.
Okay. All right. Yeah, on that note, thanks everybody for listening and or watching if you were watching on the stream, and we'll be back. I think next week we'll get a recording in on
maybe?
Sunday.
Yeah.
So until then, as always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm expansion-y Jeff.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.